Tonight is the opportunity for the Division of Infrastructure and Public Utilities to highlight some of their achievements and some of their goals for this new fiscal year. A couple of things I want to point out, some of the highlights that have been, or achievements that were gained in the last 7 months since I've been in office. A couple of things would include the continuation of the fishing depot in Lambeau, the playing fields, the lighting of the playing fields in Lambeau and Signal Hill, the continuing hosting of the Signal Hill, the Jazz Festival at Signal Hill, the construction of a new community center at Lambeau, the expansion of Lambeau Primary School and the Signal Hill Primary School, various infrastructural works that are continuing in the Lambeau, Signal Hill, Electoral districts, including roads and drainage.
Tonight, I'm happy to announce that quite a few families in Tobago, I would like to say in the vicinity of 3,000 workers. So that means quite a few households and across the island are being affected by the URP program. We have unemployed mothers, single-parent mothers and fathers who are employed at URP. And we're interested now in not just making them be able to make $1, but also so that they be empowered to go on. So what the main focus has been in the last months is in focusing on ensuring that the unemployed relief program pays attention to the facet of training and certifying those whose lives are affected. This evening, I am happy to announce as well that there are new programs on the way that are supposed to broaden that training scope. We have been approached by MIC and their willingness to, express their willingness to assist us in the training and certification of most of our workers at URP. I should probably announce here, it must have been said before time and time, but I should announce tonight that we have decided to close the program for 1 month so that we can do what we call our cleaning exercises, where we prepare to start afresh on the 14th of October. So as of Monday, there'll be no work until Monday, 14th of October, where we would begin our training exercises. The folk who have been calling, they're expressing their fears and worries that the program is closed down. The program is not closed down, but we have given a 1-month break so that we can rehabilitate and get things working right in October. I should let you know that tonight we have had our meetings with the Water and Sewage Authority and TNTech and TSTT. There has been some agreements. The DIPU has made several attempts with the TNTech to make sure that we bring the electricity problem under control here in the island. One of the things that we are directly responsible for right now is lighting of the areas that are really dark on the island. We have some roads we call rural roads. There's a process now that TNTech said they're waiting for some material. As long as that's on the island, then we'd notice that some of our darker areas are lit. We are also working with Water and Sewage Authority to cooperate with us. Mr. Sandy will talk more about that. We have the instances where right after paving of a road is done, the Airwasa comes and digs it up. And so we've been trying to talk about the kind of synchronization that must take place so that by the time the digging is happening, then we're able to pave it on time so that the roads are kept nice and safe. They have expressed, and I think I need to share this, that we need to bear with them. They're doing some work of refurbishing some of the lines, especially in the Mount St. George area and the John Dial area right now. We saw some of the heavy work that took place along the highway. All this is part of the process as we seek to improve the water supply on the island.
I want to get on to the Shore Park Cultural Complex. And you must know that the Assembly is a very big project for the Assembly. It's a very big project for the contractors of Trinidad and Tobago. And we are having not really problems in the Assembly with the project, but we have some technical problems with our contractor. When I say the contractor, I'm not speaking of the building contractor. The building contractor is not with us. Our contractor is MPEG. MPEG is responsible to deliver that building for us. They have to work with their contractor and designers and so on. And we are not getting the sort of results we want to get on that building. Nevertheless, we will get there. Work is in progress. The building is very costly, and I can assure you that in completion, you will get a very nice cultural complex. The Scarborough Library, the building of itself is 95% completed. The work that is outstanding is on the grounds and to furnish the building. So we're going to complete the building. When we complete the building and the grounds, we're going to hand it over to the Secretary of Education, where they can start putting in their books and whatever and so on, start getting things going. But the other things for the networking and the internet connection and so on, that is being tendered now, because the library you're going to get is a state-of-the-art library. The proposed plan is that you must stay in your home and be able to get to the library. That's the plan. So it's very costly, but at the same time, the persons who are working to get equipment, they're trying to get it right. We move on to the Roxburgh Plaza. Well, that is with Udicott. That's a service building for Tobago East. Once the price is right, well, based on the coffers of the Assembly, we'll decide on that. As I said, it's all plans to go forward, but we have to see what money we can get to carry out that exercise. Charlottesville Mini Mall, another project which we have to get going. Also, we're going to be fixing, let me get back to this, the road Signal Hill, not the road in the back by the Moravians Church down there where you come the hill. We have two small bridges there. We want to widen that road and get back up to the back of the hospital also, because it's a very important road, because it's the escape route also for the hospital. If anything happens to the hospital, we just put in a bypass road, and that bypass road is onto the Signal Hill Road, and it comes down in the back there. So we can either come down to the Signal Hill, or we can go up Signal Hill if we can't get into Scarborough. But we want to have those bypass routes serviceable for the hospital.
I see a trend in central government spending in terms of spreading a lot of Tobago's allocation back into their ministries as a way of subverting the THA. Because if you can give allocation for Tobago back to the ministries as they spend on behalf of Tobago, you could eventually dismantle the THA as an institution and put it back to where it was before County Council.
When you look at the allocation last year on the leases and rent to the Ministry of Tobago Development, what they actually spent was almost 10 times what was allocated. And all that was happening is that the central government was channeling money into this particular line item for them to spend how they want. And that is what is happening.
Does the Tobago Act specifically says that the budget that Tobago can spend has to be set by central government? And if the national, does the Constitution specifically state, or is there a law that specifically states that the budget that's raised in Parliament, that is declared in Parliament, specifically limits Tobago's capacity to spend?
The Tobago House of Assembly does not have too much flexibility. We can only spend what is approved in Parliament. So, for example, this year we have approval to spend $2.46 billion or $2.47 billion. The other options we have is that according to the Tobago House of Assembly Act, monies that were not expended in a particular year are carried over to be used for developmental purposes in the preceding year, in the next year, sorry.
I live just behind Channel 5, and the road there has been in disrepair. I'm sure the Division of Infrastructure and Public Utilities have gotten so many letters and calls. We, the residents, they have tried to do some little works by fixing potholes with either concrete or stones or whatever we have, but it has been a little challenging. For up to a month, we had the trash truck refused to come and pick up our trash, and you have trash piling there for a month because they claim that the road is unmotorable, it always damages their vehicle. We are kind of isolated. You have friends don't come around because anytime they come around, they have problems to their cars. So the question is, I would also like to commend the division for all the work they have been doing, but we would like to know if we are being considered in terms of the road repair and if there will be a timeline to that.
The reason we Channel 5 Road, we didn't want to put just some rotten rock in the hole and fill it up because we're going to lose that. But the paving team will come in and fix you up soon. I give it that assurance.
The budget stated that they will remove the subsidy from Caribbean Airline. I think it's October the 1st. I sat down and I gave it some thought, and some concerns came to my mind. One, after the subsidy is removed, what will happen to Tobago? I've heard many comments. They are saying that some people will lose their job, but I'm wondering if the price would increase.
I must say, young man, that I share your concern. The arithmetic doesn't seem to work out with me in the sense that you're taking away the subsidy and at the same time you're saying that they must be financially viable, but the fares will not increase. The minister did say that the subsidy will remain on the Trinidad to Tobago air bridge. But funny enough, we have two people from the Division of Tourism here, the administrator and Mr. Wilson. And they will tell you that the challenges facing Tobago is not just about the price. It's really about predictability, professionalism, and of course, the kind of sensitivity to Tobago's issues. On the Trinidad to Tobago route, as we all know, it is not about the price, or not, let me put it, not primarily about the price. It is about a situation where Caribbean Airline cannot give a visitor, whether from, not a visitor, so a traveler, whether from Trinidad or to Tobago, the comfort that will enable him to say, I will be going to Trinidad next week, Wednesday, and coming back on Friday.
There's a simple drain right in front of the school. Whenever rain, well, not if rain don't have to fall heavy, it will clog. I believe some props were left underneath, so I would hope that we can get that one cleared.
What we will do is that I'll have my team come and look at it. We never had that complaint before. I thought it was working okay, but we'll have my engineers look at it.
I really want to commend you, Chief Sec, for all the buildings that have been done throughout Tobago. I think you're doing a fantastic job with the road paving. I have a couple of questions, though, regarding, for example, the Esplanade. I think last year it was ripped up and then repaved, and I don't see the difference in what was there to what was done. And if the intent was to have people use it, which is what I think was the objective of it, because there were some benches put in, there were some patches of grass put in, I don't see anyone using it. The next thing is the beautiful boardwalk that you put from by KFC there straight down to the customs booth. It's beautiful. But again, I don't see anyone using it because the majority of the people traversing that area walk on the north side of the road. The other thing is the walkway, the stairways that was installed on Burnett Street. It seemed to be open, but there is no handrails. So I'm asking the question, if it is complete, why is the handrails missing? If it is incomplete, why is it open to use without the handrail?
We got to bear in mind that what the Tobago House of Assembly is supposed to do is to provide opportunities. Whether you're building a playing field, you're building a school, you're building a community center, you provide opportunity for people to improve their quality of life. And sometimes the opportunity is there and it is not utilized. That does not make the concept flawed. What you need to do, of course, is to sensitize the people and to educate them and to be able to influence them to utilize that particular facility. And you're also talking about ambience, and you're also talking about image. And we have an image of Tobago as being clean, green, and serene. And we got to understand that we have a responsibility, if we are to maintain that clean, green, serene environment, that we have an opportunity, we have a responsibility to develop Tobago in a manner that that particular environment will be maintained and even enhanced.
The question of Burnett Hill. I was around when Burnett Hill was natural surface with big stones and the water coming down Burnett Hill. I was around where that area where the walk is was a big canal, and we had small entrepreneurs putting up some little wooden structures selling in the corner there. So the question of beautification of Burnett Hill and the safety of people walking down Burnett Hill, I think the money is well spent. I agree with the speaker that the guardrails need to be put in. The question of the boardwalk. Before that boardwalk was put in, there was a canal there, and whenever the tide was high, the water passed between customs and the security guard booth and came down in that canal, and there was a stench when the water remained there. So the question of money well spent to put the boardwalk, let me compliment my good friend Mr. Sandy on putting in that boardwalk. The full utilization of the boardwalk will come with time.
And the next thing I look at also is the economic activity in Tobago. I don't see it getting to the point where people are feeling confident, business people, to invest in business in Tobago, because I don't see the vibrancy returning to Tobago as it was, 5-6 years ago.
I think what is happening or not happening in Tobago is something that is evident throughout the world. The world is now slowly recovering from one of the major economic slumps in the history of in the last century, and it's going to take some time. The tourism sector has been in the doldrums for many years. It's only now recovering very slowly. And even that is being frustrated by some of the activities of very cynical finance houses, but I don't want to go into that at this point in time. But I'm saying that we have got to be able to stand firm and to recognize that it is a process. We're in a similar situation in 2001.
My problem is really a health problem. The canal that was constructed by the THA from behind Bob's shop straight down into between our land down there, it is, we have a health problem. We went straight into the health division, reported it, they sent someone, the person came, and when they said they tracked it, they traced it right back to further up the road, and they said they are seeing human feces running in the canal. They said they were going to treat with it, they will go and come back. They never return. This is sometime since last year. We made a second report, nothing is being done up to now.
We're going to pass and look at it, looking together with health to see how best we can correct that problem at Bob's up there.
I'm living in Lambeau, Cemetery Street, and to get on to the highway, we have a problem. The traffic. I have plenty of traffic, and to get out on that highway, we have a problem. So we normally turn out to Lambeau. When you get to Lambeau River, where you have that bridge, I don't know what is happening on that bridge. They seem to have a plan to repair the bridge or something. They have a crane or something across there. Could anybody say what is happening to that bridge? What is the position with it?
What is happening with that bridge at Lambeau? We had some challenges with Tech. Tech can only close the electricity for a certain time, and we can drive the piles. Also, we have to get the piles from the people in Trinidad, and they've been making piles for different sites throughout Trinidad and Tobago. So when they give some to the road in Trinidad, we get some in Tobago. When they bring the piles up, Tech said they couldn't close the current this week. They had to wait till next week. And the contractor, he's in Trinidad, he had to wait until we get clearance with Tech. As a matter of fact, the last 2 piles will be driven this weekend, where Tech decides to close for us Saturday and Sunday. After that, we'll move speedily with the bridge.
I don't go into Scarborough again. Scarborough is just traffic and dirty buildings and so on. You're talking about the aesthetics and so on. It pains me, Mr. Chief Secretary, to see that we would have spent a lot of resources, health and service, social services and so on, to remove some vendors and so on from Scarborough. But I don't know where the oomph gone. I see like they're returning.
It is something that has to be addressed, and we will be discussing ways and means to do it and to ensure that it is sustained. One of the proposals that we have, and maybe Mr. Sandy might want to speak to that, is having permanent officers, roving officers, who will respond immediately the illegal act takes place, because it is creating a problem, and we gradually getting back to where we were some months ago.
Could you kindly think about spending some money into making the area between where we are going to have the fishing facility and Petitu a recreational area?
Let me thank you all very much for what has been, I think, a very productive and rewarding evening. Because I think we were able to, in a real sense, start the conversation in all the areas about which I would have spoken earlier, in that we've dealt with governance issues, we've dealt with issues having to do with the community. We have received some criticism, we've received some advice. And, I think we all leave here with a feeling that the people gathered here this evening understand their responsibilities, their responsibility to assist their representatives in representing them better, and of course their responsibility to share the kind of information and to give the kind of advice that will make that possible. So I want, on behalf of the entire team, to thank you all. I want to recommit that we are available to continue this conversation at every level.